The new year is a time of reflection. I hope you're a lot better off than you were last year. I hope you're a lot happier. I hope you love yourself more. You're a lot wiser. And you found out what you can improve on or what you've done well this year. And you've given yourself the chance to love yourself and appreciate the journey you've been on and the journey you're about to go on. But it also happens to be the time of year where everyone is telling you their top 10 movies of 2024, and I will be doing no less. Coming in at number 10, I started a cult. Now, I started a cult is the perfect definition of junk food comedy. It's literally, there's no nutritional value, alright? But then, once you actually watch it, there's a bit of heart to it. It's hilarious all the way through. Stavros Halkinis, hilarious stand-up comedian, Greek comedian. But the plot is, Stavros plays Chip Harper. He's this cult member who misses out on this huge cult event, a mass suicide, and as a result, he decides to start his own cult, his old former cult member. It's a great comedy. There's surprising heart to it. It's funny throughout. It doesn't fall off at any sort of. It doesn't fall off at the third act. It's absolutely hilarious. Number 10, I started a cult. In at number 9 is Exhibiting Forgiveness. Now, Exhibiting Forgiveness is the story of an artist, a painter, who's on the road to success, but all of that is derailed when his dad comes back into his life, and he has to sort of make terms with a lot of his trauma from the past. A lot of stuff he's kind of been burying and let sort of surface in really negative physical ways. So it's really a story about sort of like overcoming the past through art, through creativity, and sort of how that trauma really does affect us and how it sort of presents itself in the creations we make. It's such a lovely movie, so well directed, so well acted. The chemistry between all of the cast is amazing, but the scenes between Andre Holland and his dad in this movie are insane. Andre Holland is a great actor. Like, he's criminally underrated. He deserves to be in so much more, and I hope he does, because he never misses a beat. And this movie is amazing. Titus Kaphar, you could tell, brings a lot of his own trauma into this. You can tell a lot of this is really personal, and it comes across. It's such a well-made movie. Exhibiting Forgiveness. If you have not seen it, please do check it out. Now, if you were to tell me a found footage movie would make it into my top 10 movies of 2024, I'd be like, brother, are you crazy? It's not 2014, but Late Night with the Devil did it for you. Did it for your boy. This movie is so cool. It's so fun. It goes to a sort of a world that I love so much, that late night talk show host sort of world, bringing the whole found footage and horror element to it. Also having David Dastmalchian lead your cast is such a W. It's such a W, because David Dastmalchian deserves it. Like, we're acting like this brother cannot hold a movie on his own, and this is proof that he can do that with and spades. The guy is an absolute beast. In at number 8, Late Night with the Devil. Now, another surprising entry in my top 10 this year. The trailers for this one looked absolutely dog, and I thought I was going to hate this movie so much, but to be in my top 10, but not only that, in my top 7, is Transformers 1. Man, if you told me that Chris Hemsworth voicing Optimus Prime would have actually worked, I would have told you to go suck a donkey dick, because there's no way in hell I would have gone for it. And it works. It works. It is the best Transformers movie we have gotten, bar none. No competition. Bumblebee comes close, but Transformers 1 brought it to a whole nother level. The art direction was absolutely gorgeous. The characters you fall in love with straight away. I don't know if I want to see the history between an Optimus Prime and a Megatron, or not in this fashion anyways, but they prove you wrong with every single step of the way. They nailed every note. They nailed every beat that they needed to. Transformers 1 was legendary, and it makes it into the top 10. Number 7. In at number 6 is The Fall Guy. Now, The Fall Guy is an interesting one, because if this was 20 or 30 years ago, this movie would have been the number 1 movie in the box office of the year. No doubt in my mind. This was made for that time, and which is disappointing, because this movie's so freaking good. It's so good. It rides on Ryan Gosling's comedic timing and his ability to keep you wanting to just see him getting to angst and situations that we want to ride for, because we love Ryan Gosling, and it rides completely on his personality. He's great in it. Aaron Taylor-Johnson is the guy he needs to follow, and playing playing the airheaded actor. He was amazing in that. The chemistry between Emily Blunt and him was great. But getting to see this like action story in the world of Hollywood from this stunt double, it was really fun. It was a fun take on it, and ending the movie on a Kiss song, you're gonna leave your mark. Okay, ending the movie on a Kiss song, you're gonna leave your mark, and that's what it did. That's why The Fall Guy's number 6. Number 5 is a movie that was pretty much a lock. As long as the movie was good, it was going to be a lock to be in my top 10. And that's Deadpool and Wolverine. And man, I'm glad this movie paid dividends. I'm so glad. All it needed to be was a fun ride between Deadpool and Wolverine, okay? Make us nostalgic, hit a couple of those marks that we needed you to hit in terms of make us feel ready for him to come into the MCU, but also have us a bit of closure when it comes to the 20th Century Fox movies. I think we got that. We got a lot of fun cameos that didn't just feel peppered in there for the sake of being peppered in there. They felt like they were warranted, okay? All the people that popped up into the void felt like they were meant to be there. All the cameos served the overall story. Yes, is it the best narrative told story in the world? Probably not. Is it beautifully structured and hits the beats of the script perfectly? No, it doesn't. Is there a memorable villain? Not really. But is it a fun ride between two characters we absolutely love and two actors who love their characters and are in the top of their game? Yes. And that's what we got. That's why Deadpool and Wolverine is number 5. In at number 4 is a surprising one I did not see coming at all, and that is Wild Robot. Wild Robot was absolutely magnificent. So beautifully done. Hits you right in the heartstrings. The voice cast was absolutely immense, but it really made you feel like, oh, animation is what's really saved the box office this year, and rightfully so. When we have great quality animated movies like Inside Out 2, like Transformers 1, like Moana 2, and like Wild Robot, there's a reason why people are going out to see these movies. It's because they can at least bank that there's going to be a certain level of quality coming through. And across the board, these animated movies have not disappointed. Yes, maybe Moana 2 wasn't as great as we thought it would be, but across the board, they have kind of hit expectations. And Wild Robot was one that came out of absolutely nowhere and comes out to being not only one of my favorite movies of the year, but kind of a lock for best animated picture at the Oscars as well. Wild Robot. In at number 3 is Saturday Night. Now, Saturday Night is the depiction of the first hour and a half leading up to the first taping of Saturday Night Live. I love this movie so much. Now, this is coming from somebody who's just a huge nerd when it comes to comedy, but also a huge nerd when it comes to SNL. So getting to see movies like this is right up my street. I was slightly worried with some of the casting choices. Didn't know how I felt about a Dylan O'Brien playing Dan Aykroyd, but everyone absolutely smashed it. Everyone absolutely smashed it. Especially the Riddler playing Chevy Chase. Killed it. The dude that played Lorne Michaels was absolutely incredible. Even Philip Seymour Hoffman's son killed it. Like, the whole cast absolutely brought it. It also brought weight to the situation. We actually felt constantly just like in absolute like anxiety-induced horror, just because how it must have felt leading up to this. Not even knowing if they were going to go live, if they were even going to be taped seconds before it happens. Like, you're just constantly on the edge of your seat. They did the impossible by making people that they've told you, listen, these people are the funniest people on the earth, and they made them funny. Do you know how hard that is? Like, telling people somebody's funny and then trying to make them laugh you're fighting an uphill battle. Jason Reitman did that flawlessly. The performances were tremendous. Everyone was perfectly cast. So, especially when you're playing these huge icons like Dan Aykroyd, Jim Belushi, like these Milton Burrows, and like everyone just kills it. It was so good. J.K. Simmons as Milton Burrows is so good. But yeah, Saturday Night, number 3. Number 2 is again another one I did not expect to be this high up in the list. It is return to an old franchise, and with that return we have Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I thought this movie was stellar, absolutely stellar. Going back to that world, having sort of been so far removed from Caesar, his ideology, what he tried to bring forth to the apes, kind of has lost its way a little bit. His messaging has lost its way a little bit. We're in a world now where the apes are over the humans, and the humans are the lesser of the two species, and we've found the first humans in the first time in a long time. So it's on this ape and his group of friends to transport him from one place to another. It's so well done, so well done. Bringing it back to the apes, making us care about the apes again, so perfectly done. The fact that we get remnants of Caesar's story, but it's so far removed that we only have the sprinkling of his themes and how it affects the later down the line future. But we're not convoluted by all the movies past, and we're not tied down by trying to tie into the original trilogy. We could just kind of move forward, having some of the thematic sort of sprinklings from the first trilogy and what that means for the future, and then take it forward. And that's how you handle a sequel. And they did it perfectly. And Kevin Durant as Proximus Caesar was a revelation. He was so good in that, and hopefully this just means more of him, because he's been doing it for a minute now. He's been killing the game. So I hope a role like this just means more screen time for Kevin Durant across our multiplexes, because the guy is a stellar actor. So yeah, number 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Before I hit you with my number 1 though, let me give you some honorable mentions. Honora was a good time. Furiosa was an absolutely good time. Oh, I also really like Bike Riders. I know not a lot of people would have that near up the top 10. I don't have it in my top 10, but I did enjoy Bike Riders a lot. Number 1, best movie of 2024. And for me, this movie is not only one of my favourite experiences in the cinema this year, but maybe one of my favourite experiences in the cinema of the past decade. And that's Dune 2. God, this movie's good. This movie's good. Really, really good. This movie is really, really good. It's really good. Like, Denis Villeneuve, he could do whatever he wants, and it's absolutely stellar. This movie really made me think, oh crap, Timothée Chalamet is about that life. Like, if a movie can make me kind of scared of Timothée Chalamet, that's when it's done its job. And when Big Man stood up and he's like, I'm Paul Atreides, quiet! And you're just like, yes, sir. You're like, this little scrawny brother? Fair enough. But it was amazing. Again, the performances across the board. It's easy to give the plaudits to Timothée Chalamet, but Austin Butler was amazing in that. Rebecca Ferguson, as always, absolutely incredible. The Skarsgård, he's always killer. Batista, everyone brought their A game. Bloody Javier Bardem, everyone was killer. Zendaya coming with her little American accent kind of can take you away for a second, but that's it. Everything else, every frame of this movie was so meticulously done, so set up to serve a narrative that is so greater than any singular shot or frame. But any singular shot or frame could be hung up in a museum. Like, do you know how hard that is? Everything leads to the next thing perfectly to culminate in this so satisfying ending. So satisfying. Yes, we're getting Doom Messiah, but I would be okay with that being the ending, and we leave that there. The OG Anakin Skywalker, Paul Atreides, that, and the number 1 movie of the year, Dune 2.